Okay.
Over the last 2 weeks, an extremely interesting phenomenon is happening across the country. It's called Occupy Wall Street, as you well know.
Right.
It's a little bit difficult to get an exact reason for the marches, but it has something to do with the 99% against the 1% of the richest. Seems to be catching on. Just your general comments on this.
I'm not, I don't know. I've been following it. I haven't really been following it very closely. I have so many other things I'm trying to follow. I hear that they're actually trying to get something going in Indianapolis right now as well. But I follow the market, as you know, and but I haven't really been following this. From what I understand, it's the left of the left. Basically, it's the Democrats' Tea Party. That's what I've been heard, a good way to describe it. So, extremism in any party is not a good thing, in my opinion. Most people are moderate, centrists, so we have extremists in the Democratic Party, just like the Republicans have extremists in their party.
Several hundred people are staging a noisy protest against alleged corporate greed in downtown Los Angeles financial district this morning. They're protesting in sympathy with Wall Street. Demonstrators in New York City who blame the poor economy on a corporate greed.
Well, I mean, we're no exception here in Indiana. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now with monopolies like NIPSCO and, so I mean, it's frustration. I think that if we had a good economy, you wouldn't see what you see going on right now, but everybody's frustrated. Speaking of, have you seen the new unemployment numbers? I know everybody's waiting on those numbers.
9.1%, the same as last month, which is exactly
so what happens to the market now?
What was expected, right. And we'll take a look right now.
Market probably just mixed?
No, the market is actually up considerably. Hold on, let's see. The market is up 12 on the S&P right now and 100 on the Dow.
Good.
So they're taking that as positive numbers. 2 and 9.
It's not getting worse.
It's not getting worse. I guess that would be a good way of putting it. Sometimes if it doesn't get worse, it's...
Right. I feel optimistic about the economy. At this point, I think we've seen the worst. I think that talks of a double dip. I hope we're wrong, and I feel like we're heading in the right direction.
One other issue, found some remains yesterday in Robertsdale, and kind of a sad situation, but a Rottweiler found a finger, and then then they found a skull up there. Any advancement on that story?
No,
or anything?
I've been told it could be very old. Could be a very old situation. We're going to find out more once we get forensics out there. But from what I understand, it could be a very old remains. Could be decades. Or it could be, well, I mean, who knows at this point. It's so decomposed, it's hard to follow it up,
They're saying that the building was built in 1924.
Right,
so
it could have been.
It could have been even then. All right.
Could have been, who knows? Somebody could have passed away. It could have been a relative. I mean, we're going to find out more, by the way, in the future. Interesting. A radio show 2 weeks ago, the one where we talked about Marion County Republicans. Indianapolis Star last week, front page of the forum section, an entire column about our radio show. And about, of course, the comments about Marion County Republicans. That was the gist of the whole thing, but literally about an entire column devoted to it.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just pulled it up. I get the Indy Star every day. I pulled it up, and I get it late. I get it like a day late. But, yeah, last Sunday's paper, so...
Really? I'll have to look that up.
They have I forgot what they call it, but it's every Sunday they have a political section. It was in that section.
Okay, well,
so we're making news on a radio show.
We
Funny news.
Yeah, we're making news. As a matter of fact, when I interviewed Governor Mitch Daniels, that made the wires also when he was talking about whether the Chicago Mercantile Exchange would come out down here, which I wanted to talk to about. But I know there's guys on the line here, but I do have one follow-up from that. You were extremely challenged. You basically were very confrontational to some of the comments made by Mitch Daniels on page 164 of his book. And have you had any negative fallout from that?
I did. But it seems like it's calmed down by now. I think most people realized. The funny thing is, anybody listening to the show, you guys, anybody else that listens to the show realizes it was sort of tongue-in-cheek, that it was saying that basically if you generalize Lake County Democrats that way, I could generalize Marion County Republicans that way. That's how the radio show went down. But when it ended up getting printed in the papers, it said McDermott calls Marion County Republicans perverts, and it looks like we were just calling names, which people don't like. So I did get some blowback from that. But once people realized what we were trying to say, then I think they sort of laughed about it. But I mean, I did for sure get some blowback, and then I got some blowback from even my own party, from gay rights groups.
Hey, Carl, you're on the air.
Sure. Hi, Carl.
Good morning. Mayor, I just want to make sure I'm getting what you said straight.
Sure.
When you were talking about Governor Daniels, you wanted him to be accountable for...
when did I talk about Governor Daniels?
A while ago. We're reaching back, but in the past you had made comment about the fact that if he was aware of all this corruption that was in Northwest Indiana, then why wasn't he as governor acting on it?
Yeah, I did say that. That's fair. I said that he's the governor of the whole state. So when what I said, to be fair, Carl, I said if he's been governor for 7 years and he says that there's so much corruption and so much fraud and abuse up here, why hasn't he come up and done something about it? Yes, I did say that.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he's been governor 8 years. I wanted to make
sure before I went into the second part of my comment, and this is aimed at Mr. Dietlow, and don't take this as an attack. It's more of a constructive criticism. When you were interviewing Governor Daniels, and he commented towards his negative statements about the region, you kind of let him off the hook with a follow-up question. I mean, Daniels' response was, "Did I lie? Was there any inconsistencies in that?" And that was it. So if he knows it's all messed up and he's the governor of our state, why isn't he sending his pit bull Zeller up here to clean house? Why couldn't he account for 7 years of him investigating corruption?
Hold on a second. He addressed that. He addressed that. He said, listen, I could, I think he even addressed that. People have wondered why, taking his words. And his point was that the responsibility is on us. There's a responsibility for us to take care of our own situation. He addressed that at length. I'll play it again today.
That's my translation of what Governor Daniels is saying is vote Republican. Okay, this, in my opinion, this whole frustration with Lake County and Governor Daniels stems from the fact that he can't get 12 votes up here. And when he says you guys need to take things into your own hands, in my opinion, and what he's saying is you need to vote Republican and vote these Democrats out. That's what I think the governor's trying to tell us. And he's playing politics.
Daniels, if I may.
Yes, sir.
He was the budget director when Bush was organizing Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Good call.
It was his decision then to do the war on the cheap, and it's on his hands that we didn't have up armored kits for Humvees. We didn't have the necessary stuff to keep our people more out of harm's way because he was too busy trying to turn this into the low-cost war. I'm not sure why no one's kind of brought that more into the spotlight, but
all right. Hey,
served over there.
Hey, listen, I appreciate your constructive criticism, but we're out of time, so we're going to have to pick that one up next time.
Thanks for calling.
As a matter of fact, I know there's more people that are on the line, but we are out of time as right now, and we will pick them up again next week.